Hey everyone, my name is Mackane Vogel. I'm the General Manager of Marquette Radio, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on everything you need to know to run your own radio show. We're going to go through some tips and tricks on how to use the soundboard and all the microphones to get you all set up to run your own show. Alright, so the first thing I want to point out is this studio has 8 microphones. So the first one is right here, and then it's going to go in order around that way. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all the way on the far side there. It just goes directly in a circle. And those are all going to be controlled on the soundboard here, as well as they also have some individual controls that do a little bit of minimal controlling, but we'll get into that in a few minutes. One more thing I want to point out is these 4 monitors that you see here. So this monitor you're hardly going to have to use at all. It's primarily for the automation system, which we'll also get into in a few minutes. This monitor you will only need to use if you ever have interest in recording your own show. This monitor has Adobe Audition on it, and that's the computer that you'll use to open up Audition and record your own show so you can save it for later and have a copy of it. And then over here, these 2 monitors act as one computer, so the mouse will move between the 2 monitors. And that'll be if you want to use those for anything like YouTube or Spotify or any type of streaming devices as well. So this soundboard on the left is going to be to control all 8 microphones. So as you can see, there's 8 sliders here and 8 different channels. And as you'd expect, they go directly in order, mic 1 through 8 that way. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You're just gonna, anytime you want a mic to be on, you're gonna turn that mic on with the on button, and then you're gonna slide the slider upward. We ask that you never pass the -10, which you'll see across the board here. As soon as you go past that, or even once you're getting close to that, it's just gonna sound really loud and staticky. So just try to keep it around the -20. That should be plenty loud for everyone to hear you. And obviously you can have multiple microphones on at the same time. You can turn somebody's off and leave the slider up. It doesn't matter if the volume's on. As long as this is off, it's off. So that's why they differentiate these colors between on and off, so you know you're on air. And again, if the channel is on and the volume's all the way down, it's also off. So those are how to control all 8 microphones. Then right here, I'm going to point out this monitor's knob. That is to control how loud the music is in the speakers in this studio, but it has no effect on how loud it is for people listening elsewhere. So that's just to control how loud it is in this booth. And then moving over to this right soundboard here, the far left channel is going to be for automation. So that's what's going on before and after your show, unless there's another show before or after you. So anytime you come in, this will likely be turned on. And to start your show, you'll want to turn this off and then turn on whatever channel you're planning on using for your show. And speaking of your show, there's a good chance you're going to be using this channel right here, which is called Henry. That is our auxiliary cord right here. So anytime you want to plug in a phone or plug in a laptop, you're going to use Henry, and you're just going to turn him on, same as you would for any of these. And again, just turn it up just below the -10 for the best sound quality. And then over here we have the 2 phone lines. These will also have a more detailed use for those in the binder, but just so you know, these are the phone lines that you'll use to have people call into your show. Alright, so real quick, I just want to mention these buttons on the left side here. For the start and the exit button, you really don't need to worry about those at all, so just go ahead and ignore those. However, the dump button, this third yellow button, that's going to be your friend. Basically, as you all know, one of our only rules at Marquette Radio is there's no swearing on the air, whether that be out of your own mouth during a talk show or out of someone else's mouth in a song. There's no cursing, so if you ever accidentally cursed yourself or you accidentally play a song and it wasn't the clean version, our channel, it runs on a 10-second delay. So basically that means anything you say on air, someone who's listening elsewhere will hear that 10 seconds later. So you have 10 seconds to catch yourself in an error, whether that be a curse word or whether you just said something random that you didn't want anyone else to hear. You can push this dump button, which will basically just scrap the last 10 seconds of your show. And the only other thing that I should note is that you can't use this like multiple times in a row because it's going to need a second to catch back up with itself. So when you push this, it'll scrap the last 10 seconds of your show, and then you're going to need to wait about a minute, maybe 2 minutes before you can use that button again. So try not to mess up, but if you do, you can use this button. Alright, so one more thing to note is that each set of microphones has its own control panel. So for microphone 2 here, here's your microphone, here's your headset, and here is the control panel. You do have the ability to turn your own mic on and off. However, it's important to note that if the volume isn't on the main panel, those sliders, if your slider isn't up for microphone 2, this isn't going to make a difference. So you'll want somebody manning that board and controlling the volume of your microphone. Then there's also these 2 buttons up top that basically work as like a mute. However, you can't just push them, you have to hold them down. They both work the same. And so if you're talking into the mic and you need to cough for a second, you can just hold that down, you can cough, and then you can let it go, and then your mic is live again. And then finally down here, there's a volume knob next to where your set of headphones is plugged in. This volume is actually just going to control the volume for you in those headphones. So you'll be able to hear everyone else who's talking in the headphones as well as any music that you're playing. And if you turn this up or down, that's just going to control your own volume, how loud that is for you in your own headphones. Alright, so that's the basics of how to use the Marquette Radio Studio. There are a few more complicated things that we didn't go into in this video, such as how to use the phone line to have people call into your show. There's also something called the Comrex Opal system, which is a fancier phone line, and as well as the automation system. And all of those 3 things, as well as other important things, will be found in the binder. So you can refer to that for those items. Also, you'll notice that there's a lot of buttons and knobs that I didn't talk about on the soundboard. Anything I didn't talk about, just don't worry about at all. And besides that, anytime you have questions, feel free to contact me or anyone else on the Marquette Radio team. And besides that, have a great show this year.